This is Nichelle Calhoun of Perpetual Blackness.
And I am Jonathan Glover, her co-host for today. Today, we are creating, holding, honoring space for those killed at the hands of police violence and those subject to acts of violence by everyday white supremacists. This list is nowhere near comprehensive because there have been far too many deaths, known and unknown.
And I want to say their names, but then I don't. It feels like a hollow memorial at first, but then I find myself longing to put their names in my breath, on my tongue, and roll them from vocal cords ancestrally made. I want to keep them here in the land of their living, their humanity. But I know that they are too with the spirits and the ancestors. I didn't know you, but I knew you, because you were my brother, my uncle, my cousin, my friend, my boyfriend, my sister, my aunt, my acquaintance, my mother, my daughter. God, not my daughter, not my baby girl. You were me.
And you were me.
Here we breathe you again into the land of the living. Eric Garner, 44 years old. John Crawford III, 22 years old. Amadou Diallo of Guinea, 23 years old. Dante Parker, 36 years old. George Mann, 53 years old. Matthew Ashibade, 21 years old. Born in Lagos, Nigeria, died in police custody in Savannah, Georgia. Frank Smart, 39 years old. Anthony Hill, 26 years old. Brendan Glenn, 29 years old. Jonathan Sanders, 39 years old. Freddie Blue, 20 years old. Joseph Mann, 51 years old. Salvador Ellswood, 36 years old. Albert Joseph Davis, 23 years old. Billy Ray Davis, 43 years old. Anderson Arboleda, who was killed in Colombia for leaving during the quarantine, 21 years old. David McAddy, 53 years old. Samuel Vincent Dubose, 43 years old. Michael Sabi, 35 years old. Brian Keith Day, 36 years old.
Chantel Davis, 22 years old. Sandra Bland, 28 years old. Corinne Gaines, 23 years old. Tatiana Jefferson, 29 years old. Pamela Turner, 44 years old. Nia Wilson, 18 years old. Mashawn Cooper, 43 years old. Michelle Cassol, 50 years old. Tanisha Anderson, 37 years old. Natasha McKenna, 37 years old. Maya Hall, who identifies as trans, 27 years old. Alexia Christian, 26 years old. Marielle Franco, 38 years old, killed in Brazil, a political activist, after she just gave a speech on police violence. Janet Wilson, 31 years old. Altaria Woods, 21 years old. Dominique Clayton, 32 years old.
And now for the children. Darius Stewart, 19 years old.
Tony Terrell Robinson, 19 years old.
Mike Brown, 18 years old.
Laquan McDonald, 17 years old.
Trayvon Martin, 17 years old.
Cameron Tillman, 14 years old.
Joao Pedro of Brazil, 14 years old.
Tamir Rice, 12 years old.
Ayana Monet Stanley Jones, 7 years old. In America, black men are seen as threats and disposable, black women as invisible and then discarded. But by saying these names, we challenge this black life is cheap paradigm, and we venerate those for their inherent value to the community and to those who love them and to their own holy purposes, of which were abbreviated mercilessly. We who are in the land of the living keep the list because it is in their names that we will catapult change, not only here, but in the Americas and beyond. We who are in the land of the living keep the list that there must be change in Minnesota, California, Florida, Maryland, Texas, Georgia, Colombia, Brazil, Peru, the Dominican Republic, Italy, Greece. Because we know the devaluation and degradation of black people is not only in the United States, it is global. It is not only physical, but economic and social violence. I dedicate this recording to my extended Wilson and Gandy family who lost Bakari Henderson to white supremacy. He was just 21 years old and on a trip to Greece. I also dedicate this to the daughter of George Floyd. Yes, baby girl, your daddy is changing the world. And to the countless others over the centuries who've lost their lives to white supremacy. Those seen, those known and unknown. We who are in the land of the living keep the list. Ashe.
We shall not overcome one day. We shall overcome today.
Rekia Boyd, Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., Emmett Till, Richard Collins III, Freddie Gray, and Breonna Taylor, whose birthday would have been today, June 5th. Rest in power.